Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. You know, I was looking at some situations today in the news. President Trump has been said recently. That Joe Biden should be disqualified because of his recent scandal that has been proved to be fairly accurate. Others say he can't remember who he is and where he is going or where he's been or where he's at most of the time. The Democrat Party Speaker Pelosi knew that Joe Biden had, memory issues, and that he had issues that looked like it was headed toward dementia. There was no mistake that they chose him to be the party's candidate for president, or to run for president, along with Kamala Harris, another corrupt, far-left individual who also, I might add, backs BLM and also is admitted to being a pothead at one time. So, hey, that's what we got to deal with in these elections. A criminal and a pothead is running against President Trump. Boy, Nancy Pelosi expected that she would get a break if former Vice President Joe Biden had been elected for president. She would be pushing that he would, she said she's going to review the 25th Amendment. She would be pushing the 25th Amendment, saying that president, which would be Joe Biden if he got in, would be unstable and not able to be president. It's already seen already. I guess she didn't expect his health to go bad this fast. But what she wanted to happen was Kamala to come in, take his place as the president. This is what we've known all along. If she comes in and becomes president, and Nancy Pelosi, in her own admission in the news conference, said if the vice president becomes, she's talking like, if the vice president becomes president, then there'll be a vacancy for the vice president. And the person that's up for that position, the next one in line, is the Speaker of the House. The problem is what if McCarthy is the Speaker of the House and Joe Biden is the president, or his Kamala Harris is the president? Well, the Speaker of the House would be one that would be put in there if that was the case. If you lose the House, Ms. Pelosi. But this is what she was talking about. I didn't come up with the idea. Somebody else would have published this idea. And I said, man, you're right. That's what she wants to happen. That's why she's talking about the incompetency of the president. She's not talking about President Trump. She was talking about Joe Biden if he became president. And that it was very clear because she even said herself that she wasn't talking about President Trump. So she made it by her own admission. She admitted that she was hoping that she could get a president in there that would be incompetent and be removed, because that was their only hope. Bernie was the closest one to becoming president, but he was so far left, they didn't want to deal with him. But now they're still listening to radicals, and Nancy Pelosi herself has become a far left radical as well, following the AOC and all the other ones. We haven't heard much from them here lately. On to other news. The UK imposes more pandemic restriction. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has tightened restrictions for parts of the country following an uptick in coronavirus cases. On Tuesday, Johnson announced Greater Manchester will be added to the list of regions with the most intense pandemic restriction. This includes closing down pubs that don't serve meals and prohibiting people from interacting with those outside their households while indoors. I understand that one. This comes after a mayor of Greater Manchester opposed the restrictions, citing concerns it will hurt the local economy and would cripple low-income individuals. I can understand that. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has offered the city some financial aid. The job support scheme ensures that those affected by closures are still paid, Johnson noted. Once you top that up with universal credit, those on low income will receive at least 80% of their normal income. The Prime Minister went on to say he hopes to work with the mayor on enforcing the new restrictions, adding they will defeat the virus quicker if they do so. Also, in other news today, Secretary Pompeo addresses the first U.S.-UAE strategic dialogue. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo recently stressed the strategic importance of relationship between the U.S. and the United Arab Emirates, as well as the two countries' ongoing efforts to promote greater regional stability in the Middle East. This is a good thing. It's good to see that the Middle East is starting to work together, those people there. And I do believe that under this administration, there will continue to be growth in that area and also here in this country. Pompeo addressed it during remarks at the virtual inauguration of the first U.S.-UAE strategic dialogue on Tuesday. Pompeo opened his message by taking a moment to celebrate the landmark deal recently brokered by President Trump and underlining its promise for a bright future for the region. During the Trump administration, the United States and the United Arab Emirates relationships have grown deeper and broader than at any point before, stated the U.S. official. I think having this dialogue is evidence of that. Amen to that, brother. The strategic dialogue introduces a new framework of binational cooperation aimed at creating a guideline for progress across different areas of the vital importance to long-term goals of the regional development and stabilization. He was pleased to launch the inaugural U.S.-UAI strategic dialogue with Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Saeed. In addition to reinforcing security, defense, education, cultural, and commercial ties, we made space programs and human rights prominent features of our dialogue, he stated also. We're going to take a break right now. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice, and I'm David Colbert, your host. While speaking, Pompeo declared himself optimistic over the prospects raised by increased cooperation between the United States and regional powers, as well as by the Trump administration, continued effort to heal historic rifts between Arab states and Israel. And I do appreciate President Trump. He has done so much to try to foster healing in these relationships with Israel, with the United Arab Emirates, with the Islamic states. He is working very hard to bring about a more peaceful Middle East. And I think he needs to be able to continue. So I encourage each voter out there to get out and vote so that we can have a more peaceful and safer world. President Trump is looking after the peace of this nation and the peace of the world at large. He asserted America's dedication to support the Middle Eastern states committed to promoting democratic ideals and individual freedoms. Today, the MOU will build on those hopes, he said, in 8 key areas of partnership: politics, defense, law enforcement, border security, intelligence, and counterterrorism, human rights, economics, cultural and academics, and space. So they're looking into bringing them into the, obviously, it looks like the space program. So we're going to see some new and exciting things that are going to be happening over the next few years. This is announced by Secretary Pompeo. I'm confident that the United States and the UAE's strategic partnership across every one of these dimensions will grow in years to come. You know, in the state of fact too, there's something that that I wanted to state, and for some reason it came to my mind, and I'm going to mention it. You know, the Arab or the Islamics or the Arabic people, their race, their creed, whatever you want to call it, their race, they were known as very, very good in mathematics. They're extremely good in mathematics, and they've created several theories in mathematics. So they have a very intelligent base, and through coming across the Islamic states, you will see there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be going on, and we have an intelligent president. I believe we're going to be able to come to all types of agreements and bring things together or close and to be beneficial here for the United States and also for the Arab and Islamic states overseas. The Secretary of State, and that's me talking, the Secretary of State also highlighted how increased cooperation between the U.S. and Israel and the Arab nations will enable the region to better contain expansionism, I guess you call it, ambitions and mounted aggression of Iran's totalitarian I can't even get this right, totalitarianism regime. In other words, they want to take over everything. I can't even pronounce that word right now. Pompeo pointed out the Trump administration has already, through its increased focus on Middle Eastern diplomacy, taken several strides to counter Iranian attempts at a regional destabilization. And it's going to take strong people, Americans. It's going to take strong people, strong leadership in this country and in other countries to bring this about. Leaders like Netanyahu, leaders like the leaders of the United Arab Emirates, Saeed. These people are strong leaders, and these strong leaders are in place for a purpose. There's a purpose that this nation and other nations should come together, and we all should prosper together. The United States has been blessed with prosperity for so many years, and other nations as well. I mean, there are other nations. We're not the only prosperous nation in the world, but we are one of the leading and the largest and most prosperous nations in the world. But in order for us to share and to spread this prosperity out throughout the world, we must be in cooperation with other nations. As they say, globalization, we have to get involved with others on the globe, all around, from all corners of the earth. And we stand together on the international stage to counter the greatest destructive force in the Middle East, the Iranian regime, Pompeo stated. I wanted to personally thank the UAE for its support of our maximum pressure campaign, which has denied Tehran access to weapons valued at more than $70 billion. With that note, we're going to take a short break here on the Black Conservative's Voice with David Colbert. We'll be right back with you in a moment.
I'm Greg Raths. As a veteran, current council member, Local businessman, I know our community. As your congressman, I'll fight to reduce healthcare costs, keep our cities safe, and our communities healthy. Our jobs protected, our economy growing, and our nation defended. Orange County is a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family, but together we can make it even better.
Vote Greg Raths for Congress.
I'm Greg Raths, and I approve this message.
Hunter Biden joined the board of a corrupt Ukrainian energy company for over $80,000 a month while Joe Biden was vice president. In China, Hunter joined the board of a private equity company funded by the state-controlled Bank of China. In Romania, Hunter Biden represented a businessman convicted of massive corruption. The question is not why Hunter Biden used his name to get these gigs. It's why Joe Biden let him do it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Senator McSally announced that she will vote to confirm Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court. So Senator Martha McSally, a Republican from Arizona, has announced she will vote to confirm Supreme Court nominee Judge Amy Coney Barrett in a video released on Tuesday. The Arizona senator praised the President Trump, his pick for the high court, as an amazing jurist who is respected across the spectrum. McSally also pointed out that if confirmed, Barrett, who is a mother of 7, will be the first woman who with school-age children to sit on the court. And I believe she has 8 children. I don't know how many is adopted. I think 2 of them were adopted. The senator noted the judge is a woman of faith, as well as grace, and highlighted how Barrett will interpret the Constitution and laws. She will interpret the Constitution and the laws the way they were written, not from her own opinion or agenda or anything like that, said the Republican. She is a barrier breaker and a pioneer that is a role model for all women and girls. The senator added that as someone who's broke barriers herself, she feels inspired by Judge Barrett and is looking forward to seeing her on the Supreme Court bench. She goes on to say Barrett meets with senators also at the committee vote and Supreme Court for nomination. Senate Judiciary Committee to vote on Barrett's nomination Thursday. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is meeting with senators she met with senators early today before the Senate Judiciary Committee and is set to vote her nomination to Supreme Court on Thursday. Barrett met with Senators Lamar Alexander, Republican from Tennessee, and Roy Blunt, Republican from Missouri, on Wednesday morning, and was also scheduled to meet with John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming, Rob Portman from Republican from Ohio, Martha McSally, Republican from Arizona, James Langford, Republican from Oklahoma, and Jim Hoppy from Oklahoma, and of course Marco Rubio in Florida. During the confirmation hearings, Judge Barrett demonstrated respect for law, intelligence, good character, and steady temperament, Alexander said in a statement after meeting with Barrett. Having attended college in Tennessee and law school in Indiana, her background will strengthen the Supreme Court by making it more diverse. She is well qualified and has said she will decide cases based upon the law, not per personal views. Judge Barrett will be excellent Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, and I will vote to confirm her nomination. President Trump's Supreme Court nominee was supported by 51% of the participants in a recent Gallup poll, but opposition from the left has been fierce. Senator Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, was accosted in an airport this week by two women saying, "You're going to make my children, my daughter, who has stood on the shoulders of giants, you're going to take her rights away by voting for this woman who's racist," one woman asked. Give me a break. She's not racist. She just is going to stick by the Constitution as the Supreme Court justices do. Now, I can't help you if you don't like the Constitution, because as I said, she has no problem with it because it was based on Judeo-Christian values. Rubio also weighed in on her rhetoric against Barrett and interview with Fox and Friends ahead of his meeting with Barrett. You hear in the voice, see in the statements of these people some real exaggeration here. I mean, the idea that the woman is a racist, that is just too much. But Rubio believes that the overwhelming majority of the people who saw the hearing last week saw someone they were very impressed with. He said that people may disagree with her, but said personal attacks are ridiculous. The senator said he believes that these attacks are from fringe elements, but have become part of American politics nowadays. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with you in a minute here on the Black Conservative Voice. I'm David Colbert.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Stimulus deal pressure mounts on Steve Mnuchin as Nancy Pelosi deadlines loom. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin faces increasing pressure to facilitate a stimulus deal as the deadline set by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for bipartisan package to be finalized before election day looms. Pelosi spoke to Mnuchin on Saturday. But as I said earlier, Pelosi said all these things, and I said this in my broadcast yesterday. She said all these things that she backed out of the whole deal. She said on Bloomberg report that she was just saying that maybe they would come to agreement on Tuesday of some type, but they probably wouldn't have anything before the election. Pretty much she's saying the same thing she's been saying all along. She will not budge. But I say to the Republicans and the Democrats, just agree with this woman. The American people need help. There's issues that are going on in this country that everybody is kind of glossing over and nobody's paying attention to. There's some of us out here who are independent contractors. We lost all our work due to this pandemic. Some of us cannot get unemployment. Some can't even get small business loans because of the type of businesses that they run. Well, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice. I'm David Colbert. You're watching here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. I also want to give you an opportunity. If you want to sponsor this program or any other programs you see here on the CTM News, you're welcome to do so. Our email is on the bottom of the screen. Email them. They will send you out a package with different plans and how to support this program and many others that air on this channel. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me here on the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert, and I want to say, like I always like to say, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. And tomorrow evening, I want to say good night and God bless. And also one more thing. Check back with us tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but on Friday night, we will have a guest. He is with the organization called Black Pack, and his name is George Farrell. We're looking forward to introducing George Farrell to you, and we're excited about that program as we hear about the Black Pack. Once again, this is David Colbert saying God bless you and good night.
Do you care about Black lives? I do. And unlike the people that currently run Baltimore, I actually have a plan to make life better for Black people here. Walk with me. I want you to see this. I'm Kim Klasick. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This city was once among the most prosperous, populated, and powerful cities in America. So what happened? Our leaders abandoned us and Baltimore fell into ruin. But it doesn't have to be this way. None of this has to be this way. A broken Baltimore does not have to be our future. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I see the city differently.
I walk the streets of Baltimore and see what could be. I want you to see what I see. I see Baltimore that picks up trash. There are piles of garbage all around Baltimore. It makes life unsafe for our families. I'll work with city leaders to get Baltimore's Solid Waste Bureau the resources it needs to take out the trash.
Our streets should be a reflection of our leaders. Clean, not dirty.
Much of our trash gathers in abandoned homes. There are over 17,000 abandoned buildings in Baltimore. They are a scar on the face of our city.
I will support tax credits and incentive programs to give residents a chance to buy and rehabilitate these homes. Everyone deserves a safe community and a chance at home ownership. Let's put the charm back in Charm City.
Who will live in these homes? The newly employed constituents of Baltimore City. This district needs more jobs. The best way to get them is by having businesses invest in our community. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act gives federal tax incentive to drive private investment into opportunity zones just like Baltimore. Who will work in all of these new jobs if we don't have an educated workforce? 9 out of 10 Black boys in Baltimore are not reading at grade level. Over a dozen high schools in Baltimore have zero students proficient in math. This is a tragedy. We can end the school-to-prison pipeline with school choice, providing parents with options to escape schools that do not serve our children.
Let's make Baltimore better for our kids. Isn't that the point? That's my vision for Baltimore. The corrupt leaders hate it. They attack me for taking a stand, for wanting better for our people, our children, our communities. But I'm not the only one who wants better.
Tens of millions of you have shared the struggle of Black people in Baltimore. You lifted our voices. You cared about our Black lives more than our own Democrat leaders. They have done nothing for us. Now they can't hide. It's time for change. We are that change.
I'm Kim Klasick, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about Black lives. All Black lives matter. Our communities matter. We matter. And Baltimore doesn't have to vote Democrat.